Hey guys, hey JTs, welcome and welcome back to my channel. So like we've been on this series, like I said earlier in my first video this year, I said we're talking about all of the basic things to do before you get into a relationship. So all of the questions to ask yourself, questions to ask your girl you want to take out on a date, all of those, we've been discussing it. So if you haven't seen those videos, go check it out, okay? Because I think this is going to be the last video in that series. And today we'll be talking about questions to ask on the date. Now, firstly, what are the three topics you shouldn't talk about on your first date? Number one, don't talk about politics. On your first date, don't talk about politics. I don't care how much of a politician you are. I don't care if it's your best subject. I don't care if it's when your spirit come alive. Don't talk about politics. Politics will drive you crazy because you're not sure if you guys are going to be on the same team. And somehow it might just make the conversation look so boring. Except you guys met in a political field or something, so it's something the both of you already know that the both of you enjoy, so you can talk about it. You can agree to disagree, but generally I would just say please don't talk about it, okay? Just don't go there on the first dates. When you guys are now really close, you can talk about politics where you can safely argue, and things will just be fine, because politics will lead you into arguing. The second P not to talk about is your past relationship. The first date is not the best place to talk about your past relationship. Leave it for when you guys are now dating. It could be stories that just comes up, randomly. Don't go into saying, oh, my ex was this, my ex was that, or why did your ex leave you? What did you like about your ex, or what did you hate about your ex? What did he do to treat you bad? Like, don't talk about the past relationship. Let it be, okay? Those people are dead to the both of you. So don't talk about it. Don't ask about her ex. Don't talk about your ex. Just don't go there. And the last P, the last topic you shouldn't talk about is your pennies. Brothers, don't talk about your dick, okay? Except along the line, you guys start talking about sexual stuff. And in fact, I don't see any reason why you should start telling her, oh, it's long, it's fat, it's short, it's small. Like, just allow her discover what you are packing, okay? So those are the three P's you shouldn't talk about on the first date: politics, past relationship, and your P-man size, okay? Or your P-man in general. So do not talk about that. Now let's talk about the questions. 5 simple questions that you can ask on the first date that will help you understand your girl better. Now listen, when you're going to ask questions on your first date, make sure, like I talked about in my previous video, make sure you don't make it seem like an interrogation. Don't make it seem like an interview. Don't make it seem like you have it all planned out, you wrote it down somewhere. So it's like, question number 1, what's your name? Question number 2, how old are you? Like, don't make it seem so, you understand. Make sure you know how to carry the conversation, so that when you're asking the next question, it's not even looking like a next question. It's looking like you guys are just talking, and all of a sudden, boom, you're talking about something else. But in your head, you know that it's a question you want to ask her. So don't just say, okay, the second question I have is, don't make it very boring, okay? Nobody wants to be asked questions back to back on the first date. So make sure that you have planned this in your head, and you look for the sweetest way to ask some of these questions. Now, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please make sure you subscribe before you leave, because on here we keep it real 100%, and I try to help you understand women and help you choose the best woman for you. Now, this one is like a very soft question to ask, like no big deals here. For me, I feel like it should be like the warm-up thing to talk about. Like, you guys have, hugged, and you're sitting down and you're just talking about the food or about the area or whatever you're doing. If it's like a gym date, you're talking about exercises and all of that. And you could just be like, you know what? Why did you even decide to go on a date with me? Like, what made you, decide to come out today? Like, why did you show up, or why did you decide to go on a date with me? Just to understand why she's there. So at that point, she begins to tell you things she likes about you. Like, basically, that's what she should be telling you. If she really came out because she fancies you, hope she did not come out because of the food or just to take Instagram pictures. But like, that's the best time she's going to tell you, actually, I liked your vibe, or I just wanted to come out because I wanted to get to know you more. Or she's going to give you so many questions, like so many answers, so many replies. So just brace yourself, because maybe it's not the answer you're hoping to hear. Maybe you're hoping to hear, oh, I've been thinking about you nonstop. But then she's like, well, I was bored, and going on the dates, it just really, lightens me up, or something like that. So you might not be happy that she said she was bored, that's why she came out. So be careful. But I feel like that's one of like the softest questions to ask, like just to get to understand how she sees you, or if she really fancies you. So that's a very good question for me to ask, like, why did you decide to come on a date with me? Then she begins to blush. I mean, it's a sweet question if she really likes you. So because you begin to see that she blushes, she will start playing with her hair, she'll start playing with her wine, or she start looking around because she cannot look you in the eyes, because obviously it's because she likes you, that's why she's there. So just ask that question. I mean, I feel like it's personally, I feel like, and by the way, all of these questions are kind of like my personal opinion. So feel free to agree and disagree, and feel free to let me know what questions you think are best to ask on the first date. But definitely, why did you decide to come on a date with me should be like one of the questions to ask on the first date. Secondly, and I think this is a bit serious, but that's why I'm like, make sure you know how to come in with this question. Okay, so while you're talking and you're drinking and you're talking about life and work and all of this, you could be like, what are you really looking for? Like long term, short term? Like, I like you, okay, and I really fancy you. So like, what are you really looking for? I mean, this can be really tough for a lot of women, because maybe they liked you while they were chatting with you, and now they're with you and they're not really feeling the vibe. So they might not really be 100% truthful. But I feel like if you think the vibe is right and you guys are really enjoying yourself, and you think she's someone that you want to have something long term with, I think that's a very good question, because that question kind of comes out like you want commitment. Because for you to ask a lady like, what are you really looking for? It's like you want something serious, so you want to be sure that she's on the same field as you are. So it's good to ask that question, because she's gonna be like, you know what, I'm not really ready to date, I'm still talking to a few other people, and I'm not really ready to settle down now, or oh, I'm looking to settle down soon. I mean, I want kids, I want this, or I'm looking for travel buddy, and I'm looking for just sex. I don't know if they're bold enough to tell you that, but like, I feel personally you can ask that question, especially when the vibe is right, when you guys are really enjoying yourself. You could just seriously look at her. She could even be like, what? You're like, what are you really looking for? Like, what are you really looking for in a man? And she's gonna be like, I want a man who will pamper me, take care of me, do this, do that. She starts telling you the kind of person that she wants to be with. So at that point, you begin to evaluate yourself. When she tells you, I want a man that is this, I want a man that is that, I want a man to do this, I want a man who can do that, you begin to check if you tick all of those boxes, because now she's painting you a picture of who she wants to be with, or what she's looking for in a relationship or in a man in general. So pay very good attention when she's giving you all of the replies, and then you can look for a way to come in and ask why, or why not. You get, so ask her what exactly she's looking for, and you get to know if you are really her kind of man. And the third question, and I feel like this one you should leave it for like maybe at the end of the date, or when you guys are almost rounding up, because like this one is big, because this question might just make you know if, okay, this is the end of the date or not. You could ask her, what's your deal breaker in a relationship? And this question is it's tough, because she might just say something, boom, and that's it. She could tell you like, I can't be with a man who doesn't end up to this particular point, or whose age is lower, that like, who's younger than I am, or I can't be with a man who has a kid already, or a deal breaker is this. She could just tell you something, and you are that something. So you could just be like, oh, okay, now this is not going to work. So this, I feel like when you've enjoyed the date, then you can ask this question, so that if the deal breaker is not a big deal. Okay, for a lot of people, deal breaker is cheating. Some of them is a lying partner. Some of them is a man who's not available. So like, you're always traveling. Maybe your job requires you to travel all over the place. So it could just be that they don't want a man who is far away. And like, there's so many deal breakers. So it's good that you also find out. It could be like a medical condition also. Maybe you're an AS, even if you're not an SS, but the fact that you're a carrier, she doesn't want to be with someone who's a carrier, or because you have asthma, she doesn't want to be with a man who has like a condition that is permanent, that doesn't have a cure. So it could be so many things. So it's good that you ask her this question. And also you could have your own deal breaker as a man. Okay, don't just go out and live your life anyhow. There should be something that you also will say, I'm not going to compromise this. Okay, so try to know what her deal breaker is. It's very important, so that you don't waste your time in the relationship, and at the end of the day she's like, I'm sorry, you have a kid, this is not going to work out, or I'm sorry, you have this condition, this is not going to work out, or I'm sorry, because of your kind of job, this is not going to work out at the end of the day. So make sure you ask her what a deal breaker is to her in a relationship. Now, this fourth question you're going to ask her is, you try to understand her schedule, like how she manages work and family and all of that. Like, a lot of people will say, don't ask this question, like just watch it play out. But I think you should ask, like, if she's someone who really works, who works a lot of long hours, maybe she's in the medical field, or I don't know, other jobs that just, there are some people that their life is their work. They are always working. They bring work home. They do work everywhere. Like, It's good to find out. So you can ask her how she balances her work life and family, how she handles it, what time she has to, if she's someone like that's like a boss or she has her own business. Trust me, there are a lot of women that carry their business on their head. Like there are a lot of women that would stay single because of their job, the kind of job they do. So try to understand how she balances it. Like, when do you have time for family? When do you have time to have fun? When do you have time to take care of you? Like, so that you also know where you come in, because maybe all of these things makes her not to take care of herself, or makes her not to understand that she needs to love herself more. And you could just show her. You could show up at her workplace with flowers. You could plan dates, plan dinner. All of those things will make her understand that she needs to prioritize her personal life also. Some people do not have a personal life. I'm telling you this for a fact. I worked in Dubai for 4 years, for almost 4 years, and I met a lot of people in that space. And I'm telling you that a lot of people do not know what prioritizing their life means to them. Their life is just revolved around where they work, and it is terrible. Okay, so you need to ask her how she handles this, and then just know where you come in and know if she's ever going to be available for you, so that also when she tells you I'm working long hours, you don't think she's cheating or she's being with somebody else. So try to understand how she manages her work life and her personal life, so that you know what you're getting yourself into. That's a very important question to find out. And lastly, this question is one of my favorite questions. This question will help you understand their personality. Now you're going to ask your girl this question. Tell me three people you really admire. Now they could be celebrities, it could be people in her local area, it could be her parents, it could be her aunts. And when she tells you about these people, it's good that you make your research. If they're like popular people and you don't know them, try to make your research. Now, personally, I like to ask this question even to people I'm just meeting, because I try to understand your personality, so I know if you're a good person generally. Because the thing is, the people you look up to are people you become, or people you want to become, people you want to be like. So if you're looking up to serial killers and people who are doing hookup, and women who are just on social media twerking and opening OnlyFans, chances are that's what you want, or that's what you admire, and that's how you're going to raise your kids. So it is careful. It is sorry. So it is important that you understand the kind of people she looks up to and the kind of people that she admires. See, in this era, we're not doing beauty without brains anymore. So make sure you ask her this question to understand the kind of people she looks up to and the kind of person that she's hoping to become. It is very, very, very important. Okay, that's the end of the video for today. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. Feel free to drop your concerns and your questions. Let me know if there are other questions you feel like should be asked on the first date. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. Like this video and share so that other people can see it. So our next video is going to be very, very spicy. All right, so make sure you don't miss out. We're going to start going into the intimate stuff that you need to start doing to your woman, because now you have won her over, you've made her your girl. It's time to start pleasing and enjoying yourself, if you're not all about sex before marriage or sex after marriage. So until next time, keep living life, keep being champs, and bye for now. Mwah.